Did you know that marketing and sales go hand in hand? If you're in sales, chances are pretty high that you're also doing marketing, whether it's online, it's in person, it's in events, online events, soon to be in-person events. But chances are very high that you are marketing yourself in one way or another. And marketing, even for salespeople, is simply having a conversation. And in today's video, I'm going to review 5 things that all successful salespeople do. And here's a little secret: you can too. So stick with me. Let's get this party started. Hi, I'm Vicki O'Neill-Carroll, and I help entrepreneurs and small business owners with their marketing and content strategies. If that sounds like something you're interested in or need help with, don't forget to hit subscribe and the bell notification so you know when new videos are uploaded every week. I do talk about marketing tips and how-tos and strategies and connecting the dots between marketing and sales. Let's go and get started with the first one. And the first thing that all successful salespeople do is they research their prospects. This, with today's digital technologies and different options available on the web or apps or LinkedIn, any one of the social media platforms, it makes it super easy to research any one particular person or company. So if you have a list of top 5 or top 10 prospects that you want to bring on as a customer, the first thing that successful salespeople do is they research that person and they research their customers. If you're looking to be a successful salesperson, then research is going to help you with preparing those conversations so that it's a high value conversation and you're coming across as being helpful instead of pushy and sales-like. Nobody likes a salesy person, right? Right. As you're preparing your marketing strategies and your marketing action items, think about the research that needs to occur in order to find those nuggets of information that you can include in your marketing materials. Now, if you've got your personas or ideal customers already identified, then coming up with those nuggets of information are going to be easier because you'll start to notice a trend across your different prospects, and creating one piece of marketing material that you can use after the research is conducted is going to be a lot more valuable to you. And then if there's an opportunity to personalize it to each of those prospects through an email marketing campaign or just through an email, then that's going to make it even more personable. And you always have to be thinking about the know, like, and trust process, because who will they buy from? They will buy from somebody they trust, and you have to build that up over time. That happens with research and through your marketing materials. The second thing successful salespeople do, and you can too, is they listen more than they talk. Now, we've all seen these movies where the salesperson is doing all the talking, right? They think that they need to product and feature dump their entire solution.
Well then, I'd just like to add that the spectrometer readout on the nickel-cadmium alloy mix indicates a good rich strobe and fade, decreasing incidence of wear to the pressure plate. If you could just...
Whoa, little fella, you're not speaking my language.
Into that one conversation. And the one thing that's missing from that conversation is questions and interest in getting to really understand what their needs are. What are the pain points that they're experiencing? When you go through the identifying your ideal customer avatar or finding your persona, that's part of that process, is really digging deep to understand what that pain point is, so that the conversation can evolve and get to that point of not just know, like, and trust, but the point of those conversations is to information gather, right? It's about understanding who this person is, what their need is. Are they currently using another provider, and why are they shopping if they are? Maybe it's a pricing thing, maybe it's a feature thing, maybe it's a customer service thing. There's all kinds of different reasons why a prospect might be shopping for a solution, in particular you. And unless you have that conversation and are asking the questions, you're never going to understand what the real reason is for them actually shopping and considering you. Through conversations and asking questions, which you can derive from your research, That's going to make those conversations a lot easier and make you more successful at selling. The third thing that successful salespeople do, and you can too, is to go into a conversation or a meeting with the mentality of how can I help? The perception or thought about salespeople is they go into a meeting or a conversation with the thought of how can I make the sale? I have to make the sale before I leave or before we hang up this phone. And that sometimes can actually do damage to the conversation and your chances of taking that prospect and converting them to a customer. Because when you go in with the mindset of, I'm going to make the sale instead of how can I help this person, then your focus is only on the dollar, right? It's only on that contract, it's only on your weekly or monthly revenue goal. And when you think from an internal perspective like that, you're making your job a lot harder. But if you approach a conversation or every prospect with, how can I help this person solve a problem? Eventually, the problem is going to be solved with your solutions, right? But you're not going to know what that is until you've had those conversations. And when you approach a conversation with a more helpful mentality or a more helpful mindset, then it also puts the prospect, the person that you're talking to, at ease. And that makes for a better conversation as well. When just think, put yourself in that situation, right? So if you're the person who's received a sales call, and we've all received them, and you've got someone who all they're doing is pushing their product. It's only $19.95. If you act now, it's you can get this free shipping or this free product on the side. Oh, and by the way, here's an upsell. So when you have those people, you're just like, oh my gosh, seriously? They called me. They have no idea if I'm interested. They have no idea what my situation is. But here they are pushing this product and this service on me. Why don't they ask me simple questions to really find out if this is something that I could use or I would even buy? Then flip it and say, okay, if I was approaching a prospect and I wanted to, at some point, make a sale from this conversation, what do I need to do in order to share information, help them understand how I can help them, uncover what their actual issue is? Maybe they think or you think it's pricing, but maybe really it's about system compatibilities. It could be the fact that they don't have the right resource on their team, but you're not going to know that unless you go in with the mentality of how can I help this person? So the next time, I'm going to challenge you on this. The next time that you have a conversation with a prospect, I want you to go and approach them with, how can I help you? And even at the end of that conversation, it's not, okay, I need to make the sale real quick. It's like, okay, great, this was a good conversation. And then you go ahead and you do your follow-up. I challenge you, take me up on it. That takes me to number 4. So the fourth thing that successful salespeople do all the time, and you can too, is they create a follow-up from every conversation or from every attempt at a connection or conversation. So if you're using a system like HubSpot or Salesforce or any type of sales enablement tool or even any type of CRM, there is the capability within those tools that when you enter a lead or you enter a contact or a company or whatever your process is, once you've created a task, you can mark it complete, right? After you've marked it complete, there's an option to create a follow-up. So if you're using your tools correctly and you're maximizing the features that are there to help you be more efficient and timely to help you achieve those weekly and monthly goals, then that's a feature that is going to actually help you and benefit you in the end. And then also your prospects, because you're going to be doing that proper follow-up in the time frame that makes sense for your sales process. 60% of prospects will say no 4 times. Now, imagine how you get to that fourth time and ultimately the fifth time if you're not doing follow up on every single prospect, every single call, every single lead until they say no. And then you still create a follow up. It's just farther down the line. Your follow up is always going to be contingent upon the situation and the outcome of that call. But successful salespeople always have a follow up task for every conversation, every prospect, and every lead so that you can overcome that 60% of the people, prospects, who say no, and you can get over that hump to that first, fifth time when they say yes. The fifth thing that successful salespeople do, and you can too, is they leverage marketing efforts. Whether you have a marketing team, a dedicated marketing person, you've outsourced it to an agency, or you are doing everything yourself, marketing is the key to prospects, lead generation, conversions, and customer retention. If you are not currently marketing, you are making your job much more difficult than it needs to be. Enough said. You need to be marketing. If you have a website, that is your ideal location to be driving traffic from, even if you're on LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter or any of the other social media platforms. Ultimately, you want to build your email list. That is the asset that you have the most control over when you're using a social media platform as your primary source for prospecting and communicating and engaging in conversations and helping convert a conversation into a customer. Then you are at the disposal of the algorithm people, the algorithm police. And no one likes that because it's completely out of your control. You can use that as part of your marketing strategy, but ultimately you want to drive people back to your website. So, what can they do at your website? Once you have them there, then you want to have a blog post or a landing page or a podcast episode with show notes or something on your website that when you drive traffic to that page, there's some type of valuable resource or tool that they can download or use so that you can collect their email address. You can continue to manage and nurture that process and help them along the customer journey at their pace so that you are there in their inbox, a constant reminder. So when they are ready to make a purchase, your name is there. Your email list is what is going to be your biggest marketing asset. Whether your sales, your marketing, your operations, your HR, it doesn't matter. Marketing is the key to the success of your company and to your overall sales and profit growth. I've actually been working with various clients on creating content for different parts of the customer journey and really connecting the dots between the actions in each of those micro yeses to help navigate that journey until they buy from them. Through those conversations and through the engagement that I've had on my YouTube channel, my social media, and my emails, there's been an increased need, there has been an increased need for helping people beyond my current capabilities and my current time structure. So what I've done is I've put together a 5-day challenge that focuses on creating content that puts more structure and process around your marketing efforts so that you can maximize the time that you spend creating your marketing so that you then can focus more on generating sales. So if that is something you're interested in, I will include a link below so that you can check that out and hopefully sign up for it. Don't forget to hit subscribe before you leave here and the bell notification so you know when new videos are uploaded every week. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. And until next time, make today great. Oh, and by the way, wait. All right, in the screen, it looks like the stripes on my shirt are being wacky. So hopefully it doesn't come across that way in the actual video itself. Hopefully not.